Welcome to the Den, where we are a source of inspiration by using our voices, our knowledge, and experiences to empower women to move with intent. Today's discussion is about girls' trips.
Hi, I'm Michelle, la entrenadora.
Hi, I'm Dr. Uchenna, the DR.
Hi, I'm Sherelle, the socially conscious social worker.
And I'm Dr. Evie Taylor, AKA the People's Professor, and together we are the MUSE.
So I got my good buddy over here today, girls trip. However, so I got a little off today. However, today's topic is about girls trips. So it's the spring, and so people are starting to plan their summer vacations, and girls trips are always on the agenda. And so my girlfriends and I are planning a trip this summer as well. And so it's always fun to think about where to go, what to do, what we're going to do when we get there. So today's topic, we're going to talk about girls trips. Now, I ran across an article that says 5 things that you love and 5 things that you hate about girls trips, because although they're fun, some things can go down on girls trips, right? So we don't have to have long testimonials, but answer these questions. And so I'm going to mix it in between love and hate, between. Okay. The first thing is that, you tell me if you agree with it or not. It says the number one love is just being with the girls, not having boyfriends, husbands, children, dogs, cats, fish, whatever. You're just being with the girls. What do you think about that?
Yes, for sure. Getting away.
She's getting away.
Yeah. Well, actually, my daughter's in town, but yeah, no. Getting away from the regular hustle and bustle, work, regular life with the kids, and just being able to hang out with your buddies. I mean, yeah, definitely, I would agree with that.
Okay. Anybody else?
I say so. I say yay, 2 thumbs up, because I just took a girls' trip a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was so relaxing, and all we did was just relax. I don't know. I did a little bit of work, but other than that, all just spent the time. First, I spent time to get to know each other better. I went with my sisters and some girlfriends and their individual girlfriends. So I met new people too. But yeah, I think the love is just getting away by yourself, taking a little time, and that was beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. Getting away and the talks that we have on the girls' trip.
Yeah, nothing like a girls' talk, right?
Yes.
So the number one hate was missing the family. Some people said that although they enjoy getting away, they miss their children, they miss their spouse, they miss their partner, they miss their fish, their dog, their cat. Uchenna's face is like, no.
I have to agree with that one. I will agree, because I was going to say the number one thing is like getting away so that you can relax. But my number one negative would be like missing something. And so honestly, I didn't take long girls' trips like while my kids were growing up, because they were in sports. And the part that you would hate is missing stuff. Like I never missed a game. They played competitive sports all year round. So there was never a time that I can go where I wouldn't miss a game. So I planned my stuff around their games. So like even when my kids were in college, I would call my girlfriends, and when they were going to like playing in Florida or at the beach somewhere, we would make that our girls' trip, and I would still like pop in at their game, but then I would be hanging out the rest of the time with the girls. But yeah, so I'm kind of like the crazy one because I don't miss anything. And so maybe I didn't have a lot of good balance because I didn't want to miss anything.
Interesting point, because you brought up the balance issue. Yeah. Anybody else feel like they miss their family when they're gone?
I don't. That's the point for me. That's the point. It's like, I only do like a long weekend. It's rarely a girls' trip is a whole week. I know you took one, Uchenna, but a lot of time it's like a long weekend, and that's like
was Michelle. That literally was my first long girls' trip since our Daytona excursion in grad school.
That was in the 90s.
That was the 90s, before husband, before kids. So I say this to say, I didn't miss anything a month and a half ago, because it was my first real girls trip, and it was my first time actually getting away.
Nice.
I mean, with the advent of the cell phone, I mean, it's not like you're
And
or the
FaceTime, right?
computer, you're like a minute away, you're like a dial away. So
Yeah.
and trust me, they're not giving you a chance to miss them because they're
Right.
asking you to do stuff anyway. Like your dad's home. Can you
Yeah.
do this? I'm like in Cancun. So anyway, not that I don't miss, it's just it's my first one. So maybe I'll miss later. I'm with Evie. I mean, I wouldn't want to miss games, etc. But my life hasn't been so fortunate where I could just take girls trip every spring or every
Well,
summer.
I'm a little more experienced than that because I sure do. I've taken several girls trips. And
I need
I'm really
no, that's
for
gonna
another
change.
week. Yes.
That's changed.
Yes.
That's
Well, I
changed.
will say,
Fun.
since I'm an empty nester now, the girls' trips are coming.
There you go. There you go. And that's the number one. That's the number two love is that you get to get away and reduce the responsibilities for a little while. No housework, no chores, no. So Uchenna said that she worked a little bit on her vacation. I just took a vacation with my family and in Vegas. And I did a little bit of work. Like as soon as we got there, I went running upstairs and I did some work I needed to get done. Boom, I did it. And I was off for the rest of the week. So,
Right. But
so
look,
no work.
but I'll tell you this, because of the Airbnb, everybody that I went with, they were like, let's go buy groceries and cook. And I was like, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. I am not cooking every
On
day
your vacation.
on my vacation.
Let me tell you, I've been cruising for 30 years. I've been cruising for 30 years. My favorite thing, it's nice to see the island.
It's the food.
It's that they're waiting on me
Yes.
to cook and I don't have to wash dishes.
Right.
That
right.
is my favorite thing about the cruise is that I get waited on all day and I don't have to wash dishes.
Yes,
That's my favorite
Lord.
thing.
Well, another thing about the cruise is you don't have to plan anything. Like every day it's laid out
Oh,
on your bed,
yes.
like all the agenda for the day, and then you can
Yes.
decide what you want to do, but you don't have to come up with the ideas.
Exactly.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
I've
I
never
stopped-
been on a cruise.
I started doing
Oh.
cruises because I started thinking, even before the pandemic, I think one day I just felt like,
That's the bad thing.
yeah, like I'm trapped with people who are germy.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a germaphobe.
No,
just
I'm
a
with
little
you.
bit, just a little bit.
The thought of me, oh God, being in that little confined space and people being all around
It's
me.
not crowded
and,
like that.
and then norovirus, people getting sick. Oh,
It's
and
it,
then
Uchenna.
oh, is it buffet style food? Is it buffet?
No, not
I
where
like to sit
eat.
down.
Yeah,
I like
sit
to do
down.
the sit
You can
down.
go to
The
the
buffet thing,
restaurant.
I don't do too
I
much.
don't
I
do
like to
buffet.
sit down because that's where the good food is really good.
Okay.
So
well,
yeah, I don't. But that leads me to the next point. One of the number two hates is carrying your own luggage, because typically if you're with your
Oh.
partner or your spouse, and so Michelle said I like to be waited on, because you are waited on. As soon as you get there, like leave your bag, and you just like, oh, okay, and they just take everything for you. So I do appreciate that. But when you get off that cruise, they make you feel like get out of here, like
Yeah.
like you're so used to being waited on. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, they do. They're like, bye. On to the next.
They ready for
kick
the
you
next
off.
group.
You get so used to all the service, you're looking like, what? I gotta touch my bag now.
Yeah.
well, I'll admit that we were okay. So we weren't cheap in our luggage in that we paid for this van service and all this stuff. But once we went to this island called Isla Mujeres, right? Once we docked on the island, my sister was like, "Oh, we can walk to the Airbnb with a week's worth of luggage." And I don't know if y'all have seen roads in a remote island off of Cancun, but they were rocky. We were walking up hills, and I was like, "Oh, can we get a golf cart or something?" Because I'm not trying. So I say this
Yeah.
to say, I will next time we will rent. I don't care if it is 2 blocks, because that was a lot, especially when you're going for like a week and a half and you have like bags on bags. Because I don't pack light. But that's
Hey, she was getting, hold up, you don't pack light, miss, I'm not having no clothes on for the whole week.
I had to
Just
bring, I
bikinis.
brought 8 bikinis, but I brought clothes for if we go out. I brought shoes, which I never wore because I wore flip-flops the whole time. I brought cute little tank tops. No, I didn't bring clothes that had a lot of material, but I still brought clothes.
But you had a lot of material.
She did not have a lot of
You
material.
didn't have a lot of
I mean,
clothes. I'm with you,
individually,
Jenna, 'cause I'm getting the
I had a lot
bathing
of
suit for
material
every
back
day.
then.
Yes, I'm
But
working
then
on
you
that.
never know, like Michelle is really good because Michelle packs light and she knows that she plans out. Well, she plans out like, I'll wear these jeans. I'll have these pair of jeans with a bunch of blouses. well, I can't do that. I need like 4 pair of jeans because I won't know which jeans I want to wear.
Yeah, I'm getting that from Michelle because I'm getting better with that too. Like, I don't like a whole bunch of stuff. And sometimes I get overwhelmed and I just get like, ugh. But I'm with you. The next girls trip, it is going to be bikinis every day.
Yes,
Some buying, some
day.
right now. Got you.
Everybody on Facebook kept asking, do you have a different bathing suit for every day? I said, yes. Why wouldn't
Absolutely. It's an outfit. When you going to an island, what else are you going to do?
What's anyway.
Okay, so the next thing is kind of like the first thing, so we can move on. Number 3 says having your squad, like not just a girls trip, but having your squad around you. So that leads into those girls talks and, you know, just that camaraderie of just being around women that you love typically, and you just love the energy and all of that. So that's sort of like the first one, right? So we all in agreement with that one. So here's the next one about the hate. Issues show up. Because sometimes, although you love your squad, some people have hidden issues and it kind of shows up.
Issues like what?
We don't invite
I have a
them.
girlfriend that I love, and we have been friends for almost 30 years now. Love her. She is always late
Okay,
for
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Like, if you say 12 o'clock, she'll be like, okay, it turns to 2 o'clock. It's just, everything is late. So we've developed a really great way of dealing with it here, because I'll meet you. So that way she can get there when she wants to. But when you're on a girls trip and you're together, you travel together. So you're delayed because she's delayed. So things like that. What do you think?
Definitely that. Yeah. Or another one is if you want to do different things.
Yes.
It's like, oh, a few people are like, no, let's do this. And then the other one's like, let's do that. So then you end up splitting up and you're not
all together. Right.
But yeah, the thing about that, so if you're rooming with certain people, like I like to pick, like me and Sherelle, like we're exactly the same. Like we wake up early, we go to sleep early. We don't
I can't fool with y'all then. Waking up,
it would be
not waking up early. We are not
like,
waking up early on a girls trip.
No.
That is ruining the whole vacation.
You two will be just getting up and we'll be looking at y'all like, we done ate breakfast, we went shopping.
Right. So picking who you like room with, you know,
makes a difference.
Yeah, it makes a difference. You can pick better. And then some people might stay up late and other people like, well, I'm going to bed. So if you kind of like, it depends on the group size. Like if you have like a big, huge group, it's kind of easier. But if it's just a smaller group, then
because this group is going to be a smaller group. So that might be a little different, because the other trip we went to, it was like 32 of us and we had a blast. Because you know, there was so many people
everybody
around and we had a blast. But yeah, this next group is a smaller group. But I think we all have the same agenda, meaning like we kind of get up at the same time, we go to bed at the same time, kind of thing. So
I'm gonna say this emerged on our trip. So speaking of doing shared like things, right? Well, if you have different budgets, even if you decide things, I'm probably I hope I don't make anyone angry, but so we planned on doing some things, and one big thing was going to cost a little more money, right? Which is fine, but we budgeted for that. But anyway, but arguments over it ended up happening, and we're like, anyway, I think without saying too much, because I don't want anyone to like call me and be upset with me, but I say all that to say, really, you have to understand what everybody's budget is, because you may have planned this trip all year, saved all your money, so you don't have to worry about money. Not, you know what I mean, right? Like little things like I mentioned, we want to get a golf cart so we can explore. Oh, really? That's only, like, granted, $15 each, not being funny, right? But I didn't plan for that. I'm like, seriously? Not, and so I think for us, it became kind of like contentious.
Yep. And that's one of the hates. That's number 4. That's
you have to have somebody organized to take care, to make sure
it's having a different budget. Like, we discussed everything prior, but it was like, well, I don't want to pay this for this, right?
But here's the thing. If you went with some of the people you didn't know, see, if I'm going to go on a girls trip, I'm going with people that I know well. And with the people that I know well, issues aren't going to arise, because I'm going to make sure that it's going to be chill.
You have sisters?
Well, it depends on who you go with, because
You have
your
sisters?
friends and that kind of thing. Because like I said, it was 32 of us.
Yeah,
and
now that
I
you
didn't
can,
know
yeah.
everybody on the trip, but we ended up, having a difference. But Uchenna's right, because that's number 4 on our list. That it's the budgeting, because maybe some people think like, well, I got
Yeah.
this little budget, and some people had more money to budget, and
Right.
some people wanted to.
Right.
So
Right.
it does lend yourself to what you can actually do.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things on it is the budget.
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in mine, I mean, I went with sisters too, so that makes a difference, because it's easier when you go with a sibling, right?
Mhm.
Y'all might have a little more, it might get heated, but then it's over, right? It's
Right.
like, without saying too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without saying too much.
You're gonna be in
But yeah.
trouble when this is over.
I know I am going to get in trouble, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Like, I don't want to have to, when I'm on a trip, I mean, again, I told y'all, this is like my first real girls trip, like since grad school, right? And so I planned, like, I want to be able to do this. And I don't want to have to argue about no one else being able to do it. It's like, look, just,
Right.
we'll do it. You go do your thing, or you just come with us and
Right.
don't worry about it. So anyway, I just budget, just like
Budget.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, budget.
And the article said about budgeting money and budgeting time, because it's
Oh.
also too, like you said, some people want to do certain things. So I gather like the major events that you want people to go to, you go,
Yeah.
these are going to be our events. And then the other things allow like free time. So some people want to
Mhm.
sleep, some people want to shop, some people want to do other things. That you get to do that, like, so budgeting time and also budgeting activities, so that you are clear about what you're doing, and then you're also prepared for what, because we went to Dunn's River in Jamaica, and we all knew to buy like water shoes, because they said this is the activity, one of the activities we're all going to do. I will never do that again. I just gotta say, I almost died. Like, I was just like,
That's
and it was,
dangerous.
it
I
is
thought that
very,
was so
very dangerous.
fun.
No,
I
it's
had
not fun.
fun.
It's dangerous.
It's
It was
dangerous.
funny because they laughed at me, because like it was so many of us. So it was 32 on a trip, but only 25 of us did it, and we were holding hands. And the guy said, "Do what I do," right? So I'm like maybe 4 or 5 on the chain, right? And then I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't like holding.
Yeah, so you holding on. So I got nervous and dropped hands, and I went on my all fours. And then when the man turned around, everybody's on their all fours.
Oh,
So
Lord.
they're like, "How'd you do that?" They were like, "She did it first." Girl, they had a blast with me, laughing at me, because to me, I thought it was very dangerous.
It was.
I will never do it again.
Yeah.
I did it, but I will never.
I don't even know what it is.
It's a waterfall with rocks.
Yeah,
And
you're
the
kind of hiking
water
up
is
it.
climbing up the
Yeah.
whole.
And some people
You're
jump
hiking
off.
up a waterfall
Yeah.
Jump off of what?
with
Jump
rocks.
off the rocks into the
With-
water.
Okay, so I would
with-
say
With
I'm
those
adventurous.
shoes on.
I thought it was fun. It was fun. I would do it
I did
again.
it twice.
I will never do it again.
But
It was
dangerous.
hilarious, though. It
Dangerous.
was hilarious. People, like, we laughed the entire time. I was laughing, crying. I was so emotional. And every time I looked at a male friend of mine for years, I'm looking at him for reassurance. He's looking like,
He can help you. He
he's
can
looking at
help
me
you.
like, I'm looking at him like, help. But so
It's like you're on your own.
yeah, I know.
Like,
So
you on your own
budget your
trip, huh?
time and your activity, so that you know what you're doing. So that way you're also prepared if you're doing activities that are not the norm. So that was
Yeah, and I would say just add one thing there, just be relaxed about it. I think maybe, I wouldn't foresee issues with me, because if you want to do something that I don't want to do, that's cool. I mean, you know what I mean? We can separate, we can do different things. So if you don't have someone that's real anal, or we all have to do this, because that's not going to be realistic that everybody's going to want to do the same
Yeah.
things.
and allow people that time to be able to say, I don't want to do that, and don't get an attitude, because that's the infighting part. So y'all jumping right into it. So that's another part of it too, is like the infighting, because you're forcing people to do things that they don't want to do, and allowing people that, time and space. So
And you know
here's ano-
what?
What?
I'm sorry. Like
Mhm.
with that, I like my time alone too. Even though I'm on a girls' trip, I actually may want to just go run to a shop or do something because I'll get up early. And anyway, just time alone is
And being
really
okay
important.
with that.
Being okay with everybody being okay with, you know what, I'm gonna go run and do this. Y'all are doing it. We'll meet back up right here. But oh my God, it's dangerous. Someone may snatch you. Someone may get
No.
you.
Well, it depends on where you
It's-
going.
Right?
Honey.
Right,
That
but
might
I'm
be
just
true.
saying. I'm like, I'm
Saying.
just,
Yeah.
y'all got to let me go. Just
Yeah,
let
we
me go on my
trying
own.
not to have these little episodes of people,
Right.
and especially because you're in America, people like obscure, capture people. Okay, we ain't talk about all that. All right. The other thing is bathroom space is something that is hard for girls
Oh,
trips
yeah.
because we got all these appliances and gels and blah 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 blah. blah. We got to pull it together. So when you pull it together, you got to bring all your stuff. That's what I think was in Chinna's bags, all those things.
It was. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot.
I get it. So for it to look together, you got to bring your stuff with you. So bathroom space.
Mhm.
Well, the
that.
advent of the Airbnb makes it where you like everybody. I mean, if you don't have 30 plus people and you're sharing a bathroom with one person or by yourself, you're good.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
You're
when you're
good.
usually with girls trips, if you're sharing room space, it's like, you got stuff, right? So you didn't think
Yeah.
about that, right? So it's a
Nope, I
lot
didn't
of.
think about the bathroom space.
Mhm, mhm.
But then that kind of goes back to like the way a person is, because like, for instance, like we were college roommates, but I know that Sherelle and I are both very organized.
Yes.
We don't
Oh,
monopolize
yes.
space. Like, so if you're with
Yeah.
a person like that, or some people don't care and they just have their stuff all over the place and the other person might not care either. They don't bother each other.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
That would bother me.
What?
Having your stuff all over.
Well, some people don't care. So
Yeah.
if the people
I
that are
can't
together
believe
match up,
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
And
that's
that
true.
matters, matching up. That
Mhm.
really does matter because if you're like, we're going for a week. And so that matters, about space and time and, because I am very organized. I don't like my stuff all over the place. Right.
Mm-mm,
So
mm-mm.
if people do that, like I have God bless her. So I used to have an aunt, she would come in the house, her wig would be over here, her shoes would be over there. Like she just had stuff like everywhere. Like if she came to visit, I'd look at her like, okay, she just boom, 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 boom. In like 5 minutes, stuff is like every tripping over her shoe and
No.
and that does get to you. If
Yeah.
you're not like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
bless her. I
That
love
would
her, but
bother me
Yeah.
to no end.
yeah,
Oh my
she is
God.
definitely like that. So
I have a question. I have a question because when we were on our trip, there was this Black woman walking by herself. And so we actually stopped in our car to ask her if she needed a ride. She was like literally walking down this long road. Anyway, she took the trip to Isla Mujeres by herself
People do that.
for an entire week. And my sister, we were all like, you're by yourself. She goes, I do this all the time.
Mhm.
My friends, I can't worry about this. So I'm just curious, would y'all take a trip solo?
For a whole week.
I don't
He
think
was
so.
gone for a week.
wouldn't.
I think a long weekend. I think she said a 4 or 5 day week.
No,
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I
Not
don't-
even a weekend.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
Nope.
either.
If I'm going to visit family, it's different. But a vacation away, a remote, no, I wouldn't do it.
It was,
Would you
Now, I
go
can
to like
a concert
vacation?
or movies or out to eat by
Would
myself,
you
but
would
I'm
you
never
go-
going on a vacation like that.
Would you go like to a place like Hot Springs, Arkansas, where you're going to a spa and would you do that by yourself?
Nope.
Why not?
Because
I don't even go to the movies by myself.
You
I'll go to the
don't?
movies by myself.
I
I'll
go to the
eat,
movies
I'll go
by
to movies
myself.
because you never know who you're gonna meet. So I'll do that because I met one of my
Oh.
friends. I went to a concert by myself and I just needed to get away from everybody. And I met one of my friends and we ended up having seats right next to each other. We bought our seats individually and we ended up sitting right next to each other and we had the best time. But I'll do that, but not, I am not.
I
flying out
might
of
go
here.
away. I might go away. No, I would like for like an overnight, like to a spa. I would do that by myself. I would go. I mean, it would be local.
But that's
right?
here, but not abroad.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
would
mean,
take a
I'm just
vacation.
saying I may take a trip to Arkansas, get on a plane, fly to like a remote, a place where I'm specifically, and I'm saying
I'll
this
do
really
that.
for like a spa.
yeah, I think I would do that.
I
too.
would do
I
that,
would
like
do
an
that.
overnight going somewhere to a spot. I would do
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah,
a
you would do
vacation
it, but would you
in
really
a
plan it?
developing country.
Yeah, I would
No.
plan it. I would plan
Yeah.
it. Oh
See,
God, I would.
what
plan
you
it.
can
I
do
would-
though, what I would do is like if I travel for work or something like that,
Right.
when I was traveling to watch my kids
Oh,
play and I
yes.
was by myself, I can make that into a little vacation. Like, like I'd go to see them, but I'm traveling by myself. So then if I
Right.
wanted to do a spa,
I'd do
something
that.
like that, I could. But there's no way that I would put energy into planning a trip just for myself
Oh,
to do
I
that
would.
because I like
Oh,
to
I
talk too
would.
much. Who am I going to talk to? I mean,
I
I
don't
want,
need to.
if I'm going to,
But that's when you don't talk. You
somebody.
don't talk. You don't talk.
Yeah, I don't
You
like
just
that.
meditate.
Nah.
Well, people do different things. As my girlfriend was writing her
Yeah.
dissertation and she did that in Aruba. Like she went away
Mhm.
and she was doing the end of it and she just went away for a week and she just, banged it out. She came back and
Yeah.
That was
said it
I
it.
was
will say there is
successful.
something to that, like working on the beach, like when I do travel, and if I'm having to do work, it feels so much peaceful, like more peaceful, like,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
enjoyable maybe.
I like that because
I
in the
mean-
springtime, I'll do that. Like when I go out in the backyard because I plant and I have a flower garden and I have water, I'll go and sit in the back and just let the water go and just type. Yeah, I do that, Abby.
I think because of how I am, like getting away where there's just peace and solitude. I mean, and I'm saying overnight. I wouldn't go for long, but overnight.
Mhm.
I mean, and like going to get a massage and sitting and I'm just, for me, I would come back so refreshed if I don't take work. If I take work, then forget it. But
But if you make
I
it
would.
short enough, you might not have to take
I
work.
might
Like
not
if you
have
really
to,
just
right.
kind of plan it, like I'm just gonna go in and go out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I can do
think
that. I can
that's
go away.
I think that's important. Like as I've gotten older, that really time to just take a step
by
back
yourself.
and just look at life from a different angle without the noise, like without all that noise. I don't know. I haven't done it, but I mean, I would do it. I would do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that kind of wraps it up. So if we want to have any den directives about girls' trips in general.
My den directive is, when are we taking a girls trip? plan a trip and go on it. Like,
Yes.
don't just, we've been talking about this, Evie. We've been talking about having a girls trip for years. I mean, right, Michelle, too? Years, and we still haven't done it.
Mhm.
And I think, like, as we get older and friends get sick and they maybe
Yeah.
get debilitated or even die, and it's like, oh, we plan to do something and we never did it. I know, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, so the den directive is, don't just talk about it, be about it,
Mhm.
do it, because time is not promised. And
Correct.
we spent so much time making our lives X way. And now
Yeah.
it's time to take some
Mhm.
time with the girls and just get away. And
Yeah.
and I think if you do that, you'll learn more about your friends. It's like you'll learn, it'll be a new relationship, right? A new
Yeah,
chapter.
like stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, my directive would be definitely communicate beforehand
Mhm.
on the budget, on how many days, on what you want to plan to do. Like, just communicate a lot so there's not like anything come up during it that that there's causes
Mhm.
problems or whatever. And
Right.
link, if you have separate rooms, try to figure out who's, you actually might be closer with this person, but you might room better with this one. Room with the one that's better.
That's more
better
like in
for
your
you.
schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, communicate about it and plan it.
Mhm. So I would say be creative in your
Mhm.
planning, because like for those of you that are like me, I know I'm the minority, because like I didn't want to be away from my family or my kids or whatever. That wasn't like enticing to me. But if you can be creative, because sometimes you might be on a trip. And so sometimes like with my kids with their sports in the summer, like baseball, softball, basketball, we'd be gone for a week at a time. Well, you can incorporate like a girls' night into that, where just the moms go, you know what I mean? Or if you do something with your friends, like I was saying, like having my friends travel with me to the games. And that could be like a 3-day weekend, or, my daughter was playing, sometimes it was like a 4-day thing. And so, you can incorporate events like family events, but you can make it a girls' trip. So maybe it's not just we called it a girls' trip when we were going to Florida, because it was just me and my friend. But I was still seeing, I was still going to my daughter's game. So, you don't have to think about it like, oh, it has to be a week, or it has to be like this, or it has to be so many people, but just incorporate ways that you can get girls' time into your activity and have hope that it will get better. Because like I said, now that I'm an empty nester, I'm going to have a girls' trip this summer. So, there will be time for it. So if you don't have the luxury of doing it, and some people may not have the money when they're young either to do it,
Right.
because if you're on a budget and you can only take one vacation, we're talking like everybody just has money to take vacation.
Right.
You might only be able to take one vacation, and that vacation might be a family vacation.
Right.
But the time will come eventually, when you don't have the same obligations, or where you have more money as you age, where you'll be able to do that.
or you just plan it, right? So even if it's not within the year, you may plan it for the following year, and you just plan towards it. So those are really great din directives. So far, do it, right? Just do it, plan it, communicate about it so that it reduces some of the fighting and anxieties and people not having a good time, and then being creative about how to schedule it, because maybe you're going to a family's house or whatever, and you can make it into a girls trip if you see someone else. So doing that. And my piece that I want to add to it, and I think Evie said it earlier, is relax about it. Allow people, like, even when you do schedule it, don't be so like connected, like it got to be a certain way. Allow people the freedom to have a vacation, because it is their vacation too, and they want to maybe walk alone, go to shopping by yourself, some alone time, whatever, or sleep in, right? Or whatever it happens to be. So I think this is some great stuff, and I'm hoping that everybody's thinking about planning a girls trip. Yay, yay, yay. We are at the end of a 2-year pandemic, and we're kind of winding into trying to go back into the real world. So hopefully people are feeling a little more comfortable about getting out and exploring the world again. So
make sure you join us
in the den,
where places don't make you feel at home.
People do.
Bye. I need a trip. Bye.